So today we're going to be talking about AR, ER, and IR Spanish verb conjugations in the present tense. This is recommended for 6th graders and up. It can be a little challenging, but we're going to work through it and we're going to have a lot of fun. And feel free to pause this video at any time. So let's start off by talking about what an infinitive verb is. Let's start off smaller and talk about a verb. So a verb is an action. It can be to run, to dance, to sing, to talk, any of that. An infinitive verb has the word to in front of it. In Spanish, typically when you're writing, you only conjugate the first infinitive verb in a sentence. Some examples of infinitive verbs are to run, to talk, to dance. And we're going to be working a lot with these. What are conjugations? Why are they important? So conjugating is really important because it shows verb agreement from the subject and the verb. An example of an incorrect conjugation is we runs near the park. It doesn't sound correctly. The subject we doesn't match with the verb runs, so that's incorrect. A correct example is we run near the park. The subject agrees with the verb. Let's get into AR, ER, and IR verbs, So the most common verbs are listed here. We have hablar, estudiar, bailar, comprar, and caminar for AR verbs. Then for ER verbs, we have beber, aprender, comer, correr, and comprender. And then for IR verbs, we have abrir, escribir, describir, vivir, and recibir. And then the translations are next to it. Notice how all of these are in the infinitive form. So to talk, to study. And then this is the conjugation chart. So here on the left, we have the subject. And then on the right, we have the subject and the verb endings. So the translations for the subject, yo is I, tú is you, él, ella, usted is he, she, they, informal. Nosotros is we, vosotros, you all or y'all. Ellos, ellas, and ustedes is they, formal. And then on the right, in red, green, and blue, we have the verb endings. So when you have a subject in the yo form, the ending is going to be an O for all of those. And then it kind of changes a little bit from the to form, and then the L and ella form. And then nosotros form, vosotros form, there's an accent that you can't forget about. And then the ellos and ellas form, it's a little bit different. So let's practice for some of the verbs. So for hablar, which is to talk, the yo form, which is I, goes yo hablo, tú hablas, él, ella, usted habla, nosotros hablamos, vosotros habláis, ustedes hablan. So if you go back to the other slide, if you need, you can see that yo, it ends with the O. And then it's kind of similar for all of these. So for the ER, there's beber, which is to drink. So yo bebo, tú bebes, él, ella, usted bebe, nosotros bebimos, vosotros bebéis, ustedes beben. So the subject agrees with the verb. And you kind of have to memorize that chart, but it gets easier as you practice more and more. And if you need, you can pause the video at any time. And then we have some IR practice. So for the verb abrir, which is to open, the yo form is yo abro, tú abres, él, ella, usted abre, nosotros abrimos, vosotros abrís, ustedes abren. So it's pretty similar, just a few letter changes with all of the AR, ER, and IR verbs, but it's a little specific, so you have to watch out for them. But the subjects stay consistent. So here are some sentences that you can practice with. So for AR, if you want to say, I talk with my family, you'd use the verb hablar, and you can write yo hablo con mi familia. For ER, if you want to write we drink water, you would write Nosotros bebemos agua. For the IR verb, you would use abrir. She opens the window. Ella abre la ventana. So your subject and verb have to agree still when you write your sentences. So that's why conjugating, learning those rules is helpful before you can start writing sentences. So some more helpful tips. Memorizing your verbs is really important, and it's even better if you can memorize their endings. So if you can identify if it's an AR verb, an ER verb, or an IR verb based off of the ending. And that comes along with practice, which is the next tip. So if you need more help, you can reach out to a study buddy. You can find a list of conjugations and practice online. And a helpful free site is Conjuguemos.